Right now, somewhere in the world, millions of people are doing the exact same thing you probably did this morning, reaching for coffee within minutes of opening their eyes. It feels harmless. It feels normal. It might even feel necessary. But here is exactly what this video is going to show you, and it is not what you expect. That first cup, taken at the wrong moment, is quietly working against one of your most important hormones every single day, without you ever noticing the connection. I am not telling you to quit coffee. Stay with me, because this is not another video demonizing something you love. This is about timing, about one specific biological window most people accidentally destroy every single morning. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to fix it without giving up your coffee at all. Here is where we begin, and it starts with a hormone you already know, cortisol. About 30 to 45 minutes after you wake up, your cortisol naturally spikes, sometimes by as much as 50% above its resting level. This is called the cortisol awakening response, and it happens to every single human being, every single morning, without exception. This spike is not a bad thing. It is your body's natural ignition switch. It is designed to make you alert, focused, and ready to start your day. Here's the problem. Most people drink coffee within the first 10 to 15 minutes of waking, right at the exact moment this natural spike is already happening on its own. And when you add caffeine on top of an already rising cortisol curve, something happens that almost nobody understands correctly. You are not adding energy. You are compounding a spike that was already occurring naturally, pushing your cortisol higher than it needs to go, and setting up a pattern that, repeated every single day, quietly disrupts your hormonal rhythm in ways that extend far beyond just feeling a little jittery. Let us walk through exactly what happens inside your body when caffeine collides with your natural cortisol spike, because understanding this mechanism changes everything about how you think about your morning routine. Caffeine works by blocking a molecule called adenosine, the chemical responsible for making you feel tired. This is why coffee makes you feel alert almost immediately. But here is what most people never learn. Caffeine does not just block adenosine. It also directly stimulates your adrenal glands, the same glands responsible for producing cortisol. When you drink coffee during your natural cortisol spike, you are essentially asking your adrenal glands to work overtime, right when they are already working at their peak output for the day. Over time, this repeated pattern can lead to something researchers call adrenal dysregulation, where your cortisol rhythm throughout the entire day becomes less predictable, less smooth, and increasingly reactive to stress. Here is where this becomes a genuine problem, not just a minor inconvenience. Cortisol is supposed to follow a clean, predictable curve throughout your day. High in the morning, gradually declining as the day progresses, low in the evening to allow your body to wind down for sleep. When you artificially spike cortisol even higher during that already elevated morning window, your body often overcorrects later in the day, leading to that familiar afternoon energy crash so many people experience, followed by reaching for a second or third cup of coffee to compensate, which pushes cortisol upward again at a time when it should naturally be declining. This creates a cycle. Elevated morning cortisol, an afternoon crash, more caffeine to compensate, and elevated cortisol again later in the day than your body actually needs. Over weeks and months, this pattern contributes to poor sleep quality, since cortisol needs to drop significantly in the evening for melatonin to rise properly and allow deep, restorative sleep. And here is the connection most people never make. Cortisol and several other important hormones share overlapping production pathways in your body. When your adrenal glands are chronically working overtime to manage this repeated pattern of artificial spikes, the raw materials your body needs to produce other hormones, including testosterone and estrogen, can become quietly deprioritized in favor of keeping up with the constant cortisol demand. This is not about caffeine being inherently harmful. It is about the specific timing collision happening every single morning, a collision that is entirely avoidable once you understand exactly when your body actually wants that first cup. Now let us talk about the fix, because this requires nothing more than a simple shift in timing, not giving up coffee entirely. The solution is remarkably simple. Wait 90 minutes after waking before drinking your first cup of coffee. Here is exactly why 90 minutes works so well. By this point, your natural cortisol awakening response has already peaked and begun its gradual decline on its own, without any interference. Introducing caffeine after this window means you are no longer compounding an already elevated hormone. You are simply adding alertness on top of a system that has already completed its natural morning process. I know waiting 90 minutes sounds difficult if you are used to reaching for coffee the moment you wake up. Here is a simple way to make this transition manageable. Start by delaying your first cup by just 15 minutes this week. The following week, extend that delay by another 15 minutes. Within a month, you will comfortably reach the full 90-minute window without feeling like you are fighting yourself the entire time. During this waiting period, hydration becomes especially important. A large glass of water immediately upon waking helps stabilize your adrenal function directly, giving your body the raw material it needs to handle that natural cortisol spike smoothly, without the added stress of dehydration compounding the process. If you genuinely cannot function without something warm in your hands first thing in the morning, consider starting with herbal tea during this waiting window instead, satisfying the ritual without introducing caffeine during the exact moment your cortisol is already naturally elevated. Sunlight exposure during this window adds another layer of benefit as well. Stepping outside for even 5 to 10 minutes while you wait helps your natural cortisol curve complete its rise and fall properly, working alongside the process rather than interrupting it with caffeine. Here is what changes when you follow this consistently. Your cortisol curve throughout the day becomes smoother and more predictable. That familiar afternoon crash many people experience often becomes noticeably less severe, since you are no longer artificially spiking cortisol at the exact wrong moment each morning. Your coffee is not the enemy here. The timing was simply working against your biology this entire time, and now you know exactly how to fix it without giving up the thing you actually enjoy about your morning. If this changed how you think about your first cup of coffee, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel grow. Subscribe if you want more real science explained simply, no gimmicks, no shortcuts, just how your body actually works. And tell me in the comments, how long do you currently wait before your first coffee, and are you willing to try the 90-minute rule tomorrow? I will see you in the next one.